Imagine standing in the hottest place on Earth. No people, no animals, barely any wind, just you and one strange rock. This rock weighs 700 pounds. Nothing should be able to move it. But behind it stretches a trail longer than 2 football fields. It traveled here on its own. And for almost a century, no human being ever saw one of these rocks move. So what drags quarter-ton boulders across a dead flat desert? Aliens? Magnets? The real answer is far stranger. Here is how it was solved. Welcome to Death Valley, California, officially the hottest place on the planet. In 1913, thermometers here hit 134 degrees. Hidden in a remote corner lies a dried lakebed called Racetrack Playa, 3 miles long and almost perfectly flat. Its surface is baked mud, cracked into thousands of tiny hexagons, like a giant's jigsaw puzzle stretching from mountain to mountain. Scattered across it are hundreds of rocks, each at the end of its own trail. Some straight as a ruler, some zigzagging. Some rocks travel side by side like synchronized swimmers. Then suddenly one takes a sharp left, as if it changed its mind. People first noticed the strange tracks around 1915. From that moment on, these rocks had one job: driving scientists absolutely crazy. In 1948, geologists blamed dust devils. One problem? Some of these rocks weigh as much as a refrigerator. Hurricane winds. The trails show a gentle stroll, not a sprint, and the heavy rocks sometimes traveled farther than the light ones. Magnetic fields? These rocks are about as magnetic as a potato. Slippery algae? It could not explain the sharp turns. Pranksters? The soft mud records everything. Yet there was never a single footprint or tire mark near the trails. Ever. And of course, aliens. When in doubt, it is always aliens. Spoiler, it was not aliens. Sorry. In the 1970s, researchers tagged 30 rocks and gave them names, like Karen, and monitored them for 7 long years. Rocks moved, some vanished. Karen, the 700-pounder, disappeared for years, then turned up half a mile away. But in 7 years of watching, nobody ever saw a rock actually move. It was like the rocks knew when someone was looking. Then 2 cousins decided to end the mystery. Richard Norris, a scientist at Scripps, and his cousin Jim, an engineer, planned a stakeout. The park would not let them touch the famous rocks. So they brought their own, 15 rocks, with GPS trackers hidden inside, also loosely documented. They added a weather station and time-lapse cameras, then settled in to wait. A colleague called it the most boring experiment ever. They expected to wait 10 years. But in December 2013, they arrived to find the playa covered by a shallow winter pond. At night, the desert cold froze that pond into a sheet of ice thinner than a window pane. Then came a sunny afternoon. Suddenly, the ice cracked and popped, shattering into huge floating panels, some the size of tennis courts. And then it happened. The rocks began to move. For the first time in a century, humans were watching it live. Those giant ice panels act like slow-motion bulldozers. Pushed by gentle wind, they shove the rocks across mud as slippery as soap. The rocks glide a few meters per minute, slower than a walking toddler. So slow and quiet that nobody had ever noticed. That winter, over 60 rocks moved. In 2014, the cousins published the proof. Case closed. A puddle, a frost, a sunbeam, and a breeze moved boulders that hurricanes could not budge. Just timing, but some trails end with no rock at all. Rocks that simply vanish. Where do you think they go? Tell us in the comments.